Hey YouTube, it's me again. Hopefully you're not getting too sick of me. I know I've been around a hell of a lot this weekend, but it is a 3-day weekend this week, so nothing really has been going on. I don't have any sports, so it's a rarity that I have this much free time. So I thought, why not spend the free time wisely and do some reviews? So hopefully you're not sick of me, and hopefully you don't mind if I do another review, because I love doing them, and yeah, whenever I can get the chance, I take it. So here goes. Here's another review. It's a French horror film, but don't stress. If you don't like subtitles, you won't have to read them because it's entirely in English. American actors, but it is a French production. Personally, I would have rathered it be in its native France and been spoken in French, but it was a move from the director to get a wider audience, and I know a lot of people don't like subs, so it was a smart move as far as distribution goes. But I'm always a little bit disappointed when a French horror film speaks in English. It's just a thing that I have, but it's no big deal. But yeah, this does qualify as a French horror film, although it is spoken in English, so you don't have to read any subtitles. So it's a 2010 film, very recent, directed by Quentin Dupieux. I think I've pronounced that incorrectly, but that's my best. Now, Quentin Dupieux is a French DJ, a bit of a crazy guy, and this film is called Rubber. And the story is as follows. Rubber is the story of Robert, a car tire that has been abandoned in the desert, and suddenly and inexplicably comes to life. As Robert roams the bleak landscape, he discovers that he possesses terrifying telepathic powers that give him the ability to destroy anything he wishes without having to move. Leaving a swath of destruction across the desert landscape, Robert becomes a chaotic force to be reckoned with, and truly a movie villain for the ages. So you did hear correctly, it's about a car tire named Robert. Now Robert is psychopathic, he has a very keen taste in destruction. So for no particular reason, at the start of the film, you see this abandoned car tire in the desert. Then all of a sudden it comes to life, and it starts rolling around the countryside and basically blowing up things in its path. It has telepathic powers, and when it gets angry, it begins to shake a little bit, and the thing that's in front of it, whether it's a beer bottle or a rabbit or even a human, it'll explode because of its telepathic powers. So Robert basically goes around, he starts off blowing up beer bottles, and then he starts blowing up animals, and then he goes on to humans. He basically causes their heads to explode. So he's going around the countryside, he's creating all kinds of havoc, he's killing people, animals, all that kind of thing. And then he comes across this mysterious woman, and it appears that Robert has a fascination with her, and almost like a crush on her. So it kind of gives you the impression that Robert is falling in love with this woman. So he's becoming a little bit stalkerish. So throughout the entire film, Robert is pursuing this lady, and the police force have to come up with a way to stop Robert and his destructive ways. So that's as far as I'm going to go. Synopsis. If you want to know more, I would highly recommend you go out there and check the film out. And yes, on the back cover you can see Robert there. So I'm not lying, it's just an absolutely crazy sort of film. This will get a lot of people interested, so I'm going to stop it there with synopsis. I'm not going to tell you how it ends. That'd be a spoiler, and I don't do spoilers. So please go out there and see it if you want to know how it unfolds. Now my thoughts on the film. Being a car tire film, I was skeptical. I had hesitation going into it because I thought it'd just be ridiculous. But then I saw the front cover and I saw how many awards, well, the selections, and it did win some awards, but it was selected in so many film festivals. So I thought a film that sounds this ridiculous had to have some redeeming qualities. So I ended up getting it. And I can say that it wasn't as stupid as it sounds. It really does have an underlying message. And it really is making fun of audiences, especially American audiences. Now, it's basically saying that you can create anything, no matter how ridiculous it is. If you put a lot of gore in it and some nudity and some good-looking women, audiences will basically watch anything. And the whole theme to the film is nothing. Uh, Things happen in movies without a reason, and the whole film basically follows that idea of no reason. So there is a very random sort of monologue at the start that just didn't make any sense because it does follow the no reason. So very, very hard to explain, but I really like the idea that the director had behind this film. he's disguised a very smart film in a way that just comes across as very ridiculous, and that's a very hard thing to do. And I don't think the director really gets too much credit for this one. Yes, they all say how weird and crazy it is, but underneath it all, I think it was actually quite an intelligent film. And for you guys out there who are hesitant about getting this because of its content, I would still recommend you go out there and see it, because once you see how it unfolds, you really do get the idea of what the director's about, and you really do see a real message, and it's actually laughing at the audience. It's laughing at you. And you're sitting there watching it, and you think to yourself, yeah, this director's having a laugh. And, you know, I really, really like that about the film. Now, unfortunately, that is also its downfall. Yes, I enjoyed the film, but I thought it just got a little bit too fancy for its own good. Yes, there was a real message there, but I think it kind of contradicted itself. It was supposed to be for no reason, but it did have a reason. The reason was to show how silly the audiences can be. So I really would have liked this, to be honest, to be a straight out crazy film with no underlying sort of messages, and just, you know, just about a car tire. And if it was for no reason, it wouldn't have to kind of be having a dig at the audience, if you know what I mean. It would have been just no explanation for anything, no reason to be having a go at the audience. It'd just leave the viewer not knowing what the hell they just watched. So it's not a big criticism. I mean, you know, I did like the film, but I just thought it would have been better off if it was just straight out crazy. Because it is crazy, obviously a car tire, but the message in the film is actually quite intelligent. But having said that, it's also a negative, in my opinion, towards the overall film. So, would I recommend this? Yes. If you like your crazy sort of films, this is unlike anything you've seen before. I mean, there's not many killer car time movies out there. The gore is really good. I was really surprised by it. The head explosions were quite funny. And it's nothing that's going to really disturb you. It's not disturbing violence. It's just funny violence. And the soundtrack was awesome. You can really tell that the director is a DJ. I thought it was really cool. There's some French actors in this. Roxanne Mesquida, who was off Shaitan and For My Sister. She speaks English in this, but it was really cool to see French actors in it. There's also American actors in it, so it really does have an American feel. It's sort of set in a Texas sort of outback area. So, yeah, I mean, a lot to like about it. It's not as silly as it looks, but in the end, I think I would have liked it to have been a little bit just sillier for no specific reason. So, yeah, definitely a very interesting film, and I am going to recommend this one. It's not one of the better French horror films, but it's certainly a very unique one. Alright guys, that's my review. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, I don't know if I'll be doing any other reviews in the next few days. I might be a little bit busier, but if I do have the time, you will be seeing me again, so hopefully you don't mind that. And so until then, take care of yourselves, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you later.